Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 30 Days of Yin Yoga. Today's theme will be centered around easing stress, releasing stress from our body, our mind, our joints, and just allowing our body to find a sense of relaxation. Go ahead and grab 2 blocks and a bolster, and when you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. Come to sit on your butt. We're gonna find shoelace here, or cow face, Gomukhasana. Come to bend your right foot, your right knee, and bring your right foot towards your glute. Bend your left leg, bring it on top of your right leg. Come to frame your seat with your heels and point your toes. It might take a little bit to wiggle into a position here. It always takes me a moment. Try to stack your knees on top of one another. If there's space between your knees, you can bring a block or a blanket in between them. Go ahead and grab your blocks to bring out in front of you, and we use those as little pillows. As we slowly begin to hinge our chest forward at our torso, and allow your head to rest on top of your block. Find an iteration for your arms that works best for you. Sometimes I like to hold my feet down in space, creating a connection back to my body, allowing the energy just to circulate within my body here. Or if you'd like, you can also extend your arms long out in front of you, wherever you can find ease and stillness for these next few minutes. Gently begin to press your body back up. You'll find a nice tall neutral spine here, and we'll switch sides. Just scoot your blocks over to the side. Bring your left leg out from on top. Swing your right leg to the side. Then do a little switcheroo. Bend your left knee in front of you. Bring your left heel towards your glute. Then bend your right leg on top. Find a little wiggling here. Make sure both sit bones are firmly pressed into the earth. You take a peek down, your heels are in the same line in space. Find that stack of your knees on top of one another. Inhale, find length in your spine here. When you're ready, begin to create that little stone hedge, little pillow action thingy we got going on here with our blocks for our forehead. And when you begin to lean forward, hinge at your torso. Allow your head to rest upon your block. Play around with the heights of your blocks, which works best for you. Maybe you have more openness on this side. Maybe this side's a little bit more tight. Just acknowledge and, without judgment, see how you can show up for yourself. Cow phase helps to begin to extend your intercostal muscles that lead to that increased lung capacity. So being able to have that capacity in our lungs really helps to relax our chest, ease any tightness that we may be holding in our chest, which causes us to breathe from our chest, breathe really high up rather than in our deep diaphragm, in our deep abdomen. We're able to find more space and begin to activate that rest and digest, that ease and calmness in our body. When you're able to send deep breath into your body, it's signaling to your body that you are safe here, that you can find that ease and that relaxation. If you found an extension of your arms, begin to walk your hands back towards your knees and gently push your body back up. You can set your blocks off to the side and come to swing your foot that was on top just out in front of you. Now we're going to go to find butterfly pose. So keep blocks nearby, sit up nice and tall, and bring your feet to touch. Your knees go out to the side. Find a grip of your hands around your feet and find that nice, tall, straight spine. Find length here for a few moments. Reconnecting to your breath if that was something that we've lost. Connecting to that deep diaphragmatic breath. Then when you're ready, you can recruit your blocks, use them as a little pillow for your head as you begin to hinge your torso forward. You lean your torso towards the earth. Maybe your head reaches the earth. Maybe it reaches a block. Play around with the height. Feel free to extend your arms out long in front of you. Butterfly pose is an amazing pose to do when you are feeling stressed, as it soothes and relaxes you both physically and mentally and may help to even boost your energy levels. It begins to release tension from your lower back, your hips, and your thigh muscles, releasing and reducing pain and encouraging flexibility of the body and the mind. Mindfully begin to walk your hands back in space and press your body up. Send your blocks off to the side, and you'll extend your legs long on your mat as you come to find caterpillar pose. So bring your bolster or your pillow on top of your thighs and press it up against your belly button. Take a deep inhale and find length, and exhale, melt your heart forward. Your hands reach towards your toes. Maybe they lock around your toes, maybe your ankles or your calves. Then come to rest just by the side of your legs. If there's still some space between your head and the bolster, you can recruit one of your blocks as well, acknowledging where you're at in space and how you can show up for yourself. This is a quintessential seated forward bend where you can begin to relax and let gravity pull yourself deeper into the pose. This pose also may begin to promote introspection and a journey inward, enhancing self-awareness and inner peace, helping to relieve any stress in the mind and body. And with that journey inward of this fold, maybe helping to pinpoint and realize and recognize where stress is coming from in your life. What stress are you still holding? And is there maybe some actions that you can take to help release that and maybe prevent it from building up in your body in the future? Slowly begin to roll your spine back up. Allow your head to be the last to rise. Bring your bolster back behind you long ways and rest your forearms back. Bend your left knee in and then send your right foot to rest on top of your left thigh. We find seated figure 4. And stay on your forearms, or if you want a little bit more, you can press back up to your palms. Play around with how far or close your heel is from your glutes. Play around with sending energy from your right knee forward in space. Feeling around and being curious about how your body reacts in this pose. Then coming to find stillness. If you are on your hands, gently just lean back onto your forearms to release your right foot, and we'll switch sides. Bring your left ankle over your right thigh. Then maybe you press up onto your hands, playing around with the depth and sensation of the stretch in this pose. Figure 4 begins to help release tension in your butt and your hips, where we just love to hold and store emotion, am I right? Any pose where you can really start to get into the hips and start releasing from there is a win for me. Some people hold a little bit more stress and tension in their shoulders, some in their hips. Explore and be curious about maybe where that arises for you in your body, where those sensations and emotions hold and take up space. Gently lean back onto your forearms if you're on your hands and release your left foot. Come to tabletop position, place your bolster off to the side, and come to recruit your blocks if you would like. We're going to move into dragon pose. So if you're using blocks, bring them to the outer left side of your mat. Then place your right foot towards the right corner. Point your toes out at about a 45-degree angle and scoot your left leg back in space. Point your toes towards the back of the room. And place your palms to the inside of your foot. You can stay here. You want to take it a little bit further. Maybe rest your forearms on blocks. If you want to go even further, maybe you rest your forearms on the earth. Acknowledging the sensations in your body without judgment and not trying to make it look like anything else. No need to add stress of how you are looking. You feel safe and comfortable to do so. Close your eyes here and make it less about what you look like and more about what you feel like. I invite you to explore taking this a little bit deeper. Press firmly into your left hand and go ahead and bend your left knee and try to reach your right hand for your toes. You might have to press your hips back in space a little bit depending on how much space you have in your left hip. It's a very deep quad opening stretch. So just play around with where you can land here. Carefully release your hand from your foot. Windmill your arm forward and send your hips back in space. Scooter blocks over to the right side. We'll step our left foot towards the left corner of our mat. Our right leg goes long behind us. Our toes point towards the back of the room. We land on our palms or our forearms, and we explore stillness here. This pose can be challenging sometimes for people, but with regular practice, with this pose, with anything really, you may begin to notice that your breath slowly becomes calmer and more relaxed as you move in and out of this pose, which means that with practice, this pose will help relieve stress and reduce inner tension. And so, like with many things in life, you just gotta take it day by day, moment by moment, without judgment, taking account and acknowledging where you are, how you can show up for yourself, and how you can continue forward in order to find something new. Begin to press into your right palm and twist your body over to the left side as you bend your right knee. Maybe your left hand grabs your right foot and play around. Maybe your hips are a little bit further back in space. Maybe they're a little bit more forward. I know I'm a little bit more tight on this side, so my hips aren't as forward. Just acknowledging how my body differs in space, and not one side is better than the other. It's just different. Gently and slowly release your grip. Send your palms back out in front of you and send your left leg back behind you. Go ahead and place your blocks off to the side. We're going to come to lay on our stomach and we find a seal pose here. Extend your legs long on your mat and bring your elbows just right in front of your shoulders in space. Press firmly into your forearms, lift your chest up, and a slight tilt of your chin up towards the ceiling. Stay very firm here. Allow your lower body to relax. And as you stay in this pose, your shoulders may begin to creep closer to your ears. So stay active in your firmness and your rootedness into the earth, into your mat, through your forearms. Doesn't mean tension has to be there. It just means you have to stay firm. If there is a little tension, just bring your elbows slightly forward in space. Then when you press into your forearms, imagine like you're pulling back on the earth, pulling that energy forward in order to maintain this broadness. Go ahead and grab your block as we make our way into bow tie pose. So similar to like we were in seal, cross your right arm in front of your left in front of you, and then wiggle your right arm over to the left side, and wiggle your left arm over to the right side of your mat. So like you're kind of giving yourself a big hug here, but you're laying face down. Use your block as a little pillow here to lift your forehead up off the earth in order to create space here, so we get the most out of this pose without creating tension anywhere else in our body. Gently begin to wiggle your way up, and we'll just switch which arm was on top. So bring your left arm on top, right arm below. Then you wiggle your arms back out to the opposite sides of the room, like you're giving yourself that big hug. Your forehead melts down to your block. This pose is amazing in increasing flexibility in your shoulders and improving your range of motion. Shoulder pain and tension can cause stress and fatigue. So as we were working on the hips a little bit earlier, now we're working into the shoulders, another part of the body that tends to hold a lot of tension and stress. Being able to do this pose really helps to release any of that stress and fatigue that may be caused by shoulder tension. So allow yourself to really release here and sink into this pose. Gingerly begin to walk your elbows back in towards yourself so you can press your body up. Go ahead and set your props off to the side and make your way onto your back. We're going to find snail pose or plow pose, halasana. If you're unfamiliar with plow pose, go ahead and just take a look at me as I get into this pose, because once you're in this pose, do not twist your head side to side. You want to make sure you maintain a very straight spine when you're in this pose, so your gaze stays into the center of your body at your belly button. So to get into this pose, you're going to bend your knees and then send your legs up, and then send your hips up in space. You can press into your palms to help with sending your hips up, and then your feet go towards the back of the room. Maybe they land on the floor, maybe they don't. Maybe you're just sending the energy from your toes downward. Rolling your shoulders away from your ears, coming to wiggle your shoulder blades a little bit closer towards one another. You can find a bind of your hands out long, or come to support your lower back with your hands. And stay active here with straight legs, or feel free to bend your knees. Whatever feels good for you and your body, wherever you can arrive in stillness. Go ahead and extend your arms long out onto your mat. Press your palms into your mat and use them kind of as a break as you slowly lever your legs back down onto the earth. We find Shavasana, our final resting pose of class today. Come to do a body scan here, allowing yourself to release any tension that you may still be holding in your body. Releasing your toes and your feet and your ankles. Relaxing your shins and your calves and your knees. Your thighs and glutes relax. Your pelvis relax. Your abdomen, your chest, and your shoulders. Your upper arms and lower arms. Hands and fingers. Relax your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Release your cheeks, your eyebrows, and your forehead. And come to complete stillness. This is where I will leave you. Please feel free, as always, to stay as long as you would like. Otherwise, thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.